Have you ever been told your thyroid is normal, but you still feel completely exhausted? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today we're going way beyond the standard tests to really uncover the full story of your thyroid.
Okay, let's just start with this question from naturopathic Dr. Tristian Rowe. It is so powerful because it cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? Lots of people get tested, but are we testing the right things to get the full picture? This one question is going to frame our entire conversation today.
This is the frustrating reality for so many people. You've got the classic symptoms, the fatigue, maybe some hair loss, weight gain, but the lab slip comes back and your doctor says, everything looks fine. It's a total dead end, and it can leave you feeling completely dismissed. But what is the test itself is the problem? So let's get right into it. What is the actual issue with the standard way we test for thyroid problems?
All right, so the TSH test, that stands for thyroid stimulating hormone, is the go-to for most doctors. But here's the thing, it only measures a signal from your brain's pituitary gland to your thyroid. It doesn't actually measure the thyroid hormones that are doing all the work in your body. Relying on TSH alone can totally miss what Dr. Rowe calls subclinical or even masked hypothyroidism.
To really understand what's going on, we need to look at the entire journey of your thyroid hormones. So let's map this thing out.
In a perfect world, it works just like this. The pituitary sends the TSH signal. Your thyroid gets the message and makes a hormone called T4. But, and this is a huge but, T4 is just a storage hormone. It has to be converted into the active hormone T3. And then finally, that active T3 has to get inside your cells to actually boost your energy and your metabolism. A problem at any one of these steps can cause symptoms.
This is the perfect way to think about the difference. Imagine T4 is like crude oil in a barrel, and T3 is the refined gasoline that actually powers your car. You can have a full barrel of crude oil, but if your body's refinery is broken and it can't make any gasoline, well, you're not going anywhere.
And that is why a full panel is so incredibly important. On top of TSH, it looks at your free T4 levels. That's the crude oil. Crucially, it also measures your free T3. That's the gasoline, ready to power your cells. And then it tests for something called reverse T3, which, don't worry, we'll get to in just a moment. This is how you get the complete story.
This brings us to what might be the single most overlooked issue in all of thyroid health, that T4 to T3 conversion process.
This step is completely non-negotiable. The conversion of T4 into T3 happens mostly in your liver and your gut. So if that process is messed up for any reason, like stress, inflammation, or just not having the right nutrients, you will start to have hypothyroid symptoms, even if your TSH and T4 levels look perfectly normal on a lab test.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how stress just completely hijacks this process. When your body's under chronic stress, it pumps out a hormone called cortisol. High cortisol basically tells your body to conserve energy. So instead of converting T4 into that useful active T3, it shunts it down a different pathway, creating an inactive substance called reverse T3.
So think of reverse T3 like this. It's a key that fits into the same lock as your active T3, but it's a dud. It doesn't turn. It just gets stuck in the receptor on your cell, and it literally blocks the real active T3 from getting in and doing its job. This creates hypothyroidism at the cellular level, and it's completely invisible on a standard TSH test.
Okay, so if stress and inflammation can break this process, what does your body need to make it all work smoothly? Let's talk about the essential mineral cofactors, those missing ingredients. First up is iodine. It's the fundamental building block. You know, the 4 in T4 and the 3 in T3, that literally refers to the number of iodine atoms in each molecule. No iodine, no thyroid hormone. It's that simple. And while a severe deficiency is rare these days, studies actually show that iodine levels in the US have dropped by over 50% since the 1970s. Wow. Next up, selenium. If that conversion process is the engine, selenium is the key that starts it. It's an absolutely required cofactor for the enzyme that literally pops one iodine atom off of T4 to create active T3. It also acts as a powerful antioxidant that protects the thyroid gland itself from damage.
And finally, we have zinc. Zinc acts as the gatekeeper. It's required for the cellular receptors to actually accept and respond to that active T3 hormone. I mean, you can have plenty of active T3 floating around, but if you don't have enough zinc, it can't get into the cell to deliver its message.
Understanding all these mechanisms really opens up new possibilities for treatment, beyond just the standard one-size-fits-all prescription.
The standard treatment is levothyroxine, which is just synthetic T4. And look, this works great if your body is a champ at converting T4 to T3, but for those with poor conversion, an alternative like natural desiccated thyroid, or NDT, provides both T4 and T3 directly, basically bypassing that whole problematic conversion step.
And the patient preference here is pretty striking. A 2013 clinical trial found that nearly half, 49% of patients, preferred NDT over levothyroxine. They reported better symptom relief and even some weight loss. It really highlights how important it is to have individualized treatment.
But what's on the horizon? Dr. Rowe points to some really exciting new research on a nutritional combination, selenium, which we've talked about, paired with a compound called myo-inositol.
A landmark 2017 study found that this duo significantly improved thyroid function in patients with subclinical hypothyroidism. And what's even more impressive, in autoimmune cases like Hashimoto's, it was shown to reduce the TPO antibodies that actually mark the autoimmune attack on the thyroid. That's something medication alone doesn't do.
So we come all the way back to our main question. The evidence is pretty clear. A single TSH number is just the cover of the book. It's not the entire story. Understanding conversion and key nutrients and the full hormone panel gives you the tools to go in and ask for your thyroid's full story. Because a normal lab result does not have to be the end of the road.
I stopped trying to find a doctor who would listen, and I did this instead. For years, I was doing everything right. Eating clean, exercising, getting 8 hours of sleep, but I was still exhausted, I had constant brain fog, and my hormones felt completely out of whack. Every doctor told me my labs were normal, and it was probably just stress. I was about to give up until I found Holistic Health. It's a free AI wellness tool trained by functional medicine experts. I spent 5 minutes answering questions about everything: my symptoms, my sleep, my digestion, and it built me this. And this was the light bulb moment. It didn't just give me a list of problems, it connected the dots. It showed me how my gut health was likely impacting my hormones and how that was causing the fatigue and the brain fog. It even gave me a clear list of potential root causes, supplements to research, and even the specific lab tests to ask for. Its tip is secure, over 77,000 people have used it, and it's 100% free to get your blueprint. If you feel like you're not being heard, start here. Understand your body first and then decide your next step.